Are you a fan of the action movies genre? Are you a fan of John Wick and his gory tales? But at the same time, do you also love old school Batman with his no killing rules? Well, if that is the case, then I have the perfect manga recommendation for you in the form of Sakamoto Days. And no, don't get this confused with Sakamoto Desuga, that's a totally different series. So hello and welcome to Wonder WhyZ, my name is Soham and today we are going to talk about Sakamoto Days and why you should read it. But before that, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel since I do weekly anime and manga related content. With that being said, let's begin the video. Now this is a new Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Yuto Suzuki. It has been serialized in the Weekly Shonen Jump since November 2020 and has been published online in English via Manga Plus and Viz Media. Sakamoto Days is kind of an unorthodox story that kind of breaks all the tropes as such, and it is really fun to read overall. So why do I recommend it? Well, mostly for the plot and well-drawn action scenes. The story follows the character of Taro Sakamoto, a legendary ex-assassin who is feared by his villains and is admired by the hitmen. For years, he has been the bane for a number of different underworld organizations, and his very name is able to strike a mortal fear in the hearts of many. No one dared to stand a chance in front of him except for fate, because it was fate that made Sakamoto fall in love, and in a very hilarious turn of events, he started dating, then he retired, he got married, he had a kid, and finally grew overweight as a result. This is basically a wholesome love story of a family man with an action twist. But what after that? Well, the story does take a turn after Sakamoto's past life starts hunting him back. Currently, he runs a store with his family, but the question is, can he protect his family from the ghosts of his past, all the while maintaining his wife's promise of no killing allowed? Well, that's the story all about. Moreover, it introduces captivating characters that you will quickly start liking, and the personality of Sakamoto is one that is of an absolute charm. Plus, the no-kill rule introduces a very fun element to the story, and it greatly enhances the character of Sakamoto as to what will he do next. From the utilization of pans, pencils and pots to telephone wires, this is a really fun story that will help you relax overall. You don't really need to be very critical of the plot because it's not that serious, at least as of yet, and the local residential scenario works very well in the series. Now the mangaka Yuto Suzuki is best known for being the author and artist of Sakamoto Days itself and a couple of other one-shot manga, for example Garaku, Locker Room and even the 2019 one-shot Sakamoto itself. I'll come back to this particular one-shot in a bit, but before that, if we take a look at Garaku, it's quite understandable that Suzuki loves to utilize Yakuza and Hitman elements in his stories, which is very evident from the action scenes and action panels of Sakamoto Days. Like I said, you don't really need to think much about the plot of the story as a whole, but the action scenes will certainly make your head turn because it's gory yet beautiful. Now coming to the 2019 one-shot, apparently it was actually made when Oda was taking a break from the One Piece volumes. Here the story introduces some very important characters of the series pretty early on, but I won't divulge much into it because of spoilers territory. Now to be frank, after reading the story, I got the feeling that it has taken inspiration from a lot of different classic stories in a very good way. Like I said in the beginning, it has your typical John Wick and Batman vibes, but along with that, the very essence of Sakamoto, an ex-assassin, felt like the story of Tatsu from the way of the house husband and how he left his past life to become a house husband. Now please don't get me wrong here, I'm not saying that this is exactly a copy, but rather it's like an inspiration but in a good way. Then there is a Chinese mystery element and Sakamoto's relationship with Shin, which felt like a story right out of the Tintin comics. Lastly, the hand-to-hand action martial arts style and the overall goofiness of Sakamoto Days really reminded me of old school Dragon Ball, especially how Sakamoto becomes lean and slim when he's serious in a fight, and subsequently how he manages to lose his moustache as well, which comes back once again when he goes back to his chubby form. It's hilarious and like I said, it's for fun, so don't really think too hard about it. Thus the story basically asks, can Sakamoto manage to protect his mundane but wholesome family life from the ghost of his past? That's the question all about in the story of Sakamoto Days. Overall, this is a very fun series that I discovered in December of 2020 and I would definitely recommend you all to have a look at it as well. I can't really say much about an anime adaptation as such, it's too early to talk about it because the first volume of the series will be published in April 2021 and after that, only after that we'll be able to get a clear idea of how popular it is and the sales and everything attached to it. As of now, I don't really have a solid idea of how well the series is doing physically, but on Manga Plus, it's doing alright. It's not too good, but with about 140,000 views, I guess it's just fine. Let's hope that this series goes on and it doesn't see the cutting room, because I'm enjoying the series quite a lot. The characters are really fun and engaging, and the Sakamoto family dynamic works really well. Lastly, one part of the story which I really liked a lot was how exactly the no-kill rule was applied here. I will not spoil it for you all here, but it was really well done in my opinion. So these were my quick thoughts in regards to Sakamoto Days and why I recommend it to you all as well. So that's it for today guys, thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more. This is Wonder WhyZ and I'll see you soon in the next video.